Jaden Schwartz. And a retake by Marchment with a shot. He scores! There it is. Beniers with a shot. He scores! That's hockey, baby. Here's Montour. He scores! Brandon Montour wins it in overtime.
The Kraken are on the road as they continue their strong start to the season. This road trip kicked off in Detroit, where Lane Lambert began his NHL career. Welcome to another episode of Kraken-home-ice. This week, Philipp Grubauer shares how he uses the outdoors of the PNW to balance the intensity of goaltending. Jaden Schwartz shares the important meaning behind his decision to wear the number 17. And for a local high school sophomore, he turned his love for hockey into a weekly segment. How he got the name Kraken Max.
The Kraken continued their road trip playing the Penguins in Pittsburgh Saturday. Here's Chris Egan with a recap.
After a scoreless first period at Seattle on the move in the second, Mason Marchment gets the steal, and then he gets the goal. Marchment gives Seattle a 1-0 lead. That's his first goal in 19 games. Pittsburgh would answer back in the second. Sidney Crosby gets the cross and buries it. That's his 13th goal of the season. In the third, Pittsburgh takes a 2-1 lead, but Matty Beniers comes through. He gets a great feed from Marchment, and Beniers buries it. This game goes to overtime. In the OT, Philipp Grubauer had some big saves, and then it's Brandon Montour with a laser. That's the game winner. The Kraken win a thriller, 3-2 in overtime.
We're not out of it until we're done. So, I mean, we showed that. I don't even know how many overtimes we'd like to kind of clean a little bit up so we're not dealing with that every time. But, again, we obviously are a team that battles to the end, and, that was another one.
Thursday night, the Kraken fell behind 2-0 in Chicago, but rallied. Exciting moment for Oscar Fisker-Molgaard. Making his NHL debut, he gets an assist on this goal by Ty Cartier. Oscar gets a point in his NHL debut, and his parents and brother were loving it. The Kraken build on the momentum. Riker Evans puts a shot on goal, and Shane Wright redirects it to score the tying goal at 2-2. Stays that way till the final minutes of the game. Kraken on a power play. Brandon Montour to Jaden Schwartz. He bangs it home for the game winner. The Kraken rally from 2-0 down to win it 3-2.
I mean, it was pretty surreal. It's a childhood dream coming true. So yeah, been waiting for this moment my whole life, and yeah, good to get the first one out of the way. I mean, it's unreal. It's a proud moment for all of us.
I liked him. I thought he was good. I thought he was responsible. It was great to see him get his first NHL point with his family in the stands. Fantastic.
Tuesday in Detroit, Joey Decord was back between the pipes after being out with an upper body injury. On the power play in the final minute of the first period, Ellie Tolvanen takes the shot, gets deflected by Cam Talbot, but Jordan Eberle is there to bury it. Kraken up 1-0. The Red Wings answer back at the start of the second period with 2 goals in just 45 seconds. The Kraken weren't done. Riker Evans rockets one in and ties it up at 2. Detroit goes on to score 2 more, and the Kraken lose this one 4-2. On the injury front, Jared McCann is still on injured reserve with a lower body injury. Both goalie Matt Murray and forward Kaapo Kakko are also on IR. This is the second time Kakko has been out this season. He's played in just 7 games so far. Philipp Grubauer stepped up big time when Matt Murray went down in the first period against the Sharks. Gruby stopped all 19 shots he faced. His performance was a testament to his skill and patience. Out of the net, Grubauer finds balance in the fresh air and fulfillment in giving back to the PNW community he now calls home. Piper Shaw has more.
Cradled in the foothills of the Alps, Philipp Grubauer was drawn to hockey by nature.
I was always outdoorsy. Growing up in Germany, I'm 20 minutes away from the mountains. Grew up skiing. As a kid, we were always outside. Right? We didn't have any iPhones back then.
That early love for movement, adventure, and focus would come to define both his profession and his pastimes. He played for his hometown's junior team, the Star Bulls Rosenheim, at the age of 13, before being drafted into the OHL and heading off to North America.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I finished school when I was 14 back home. I played men's hockey and then got drafted to juniors and came over. I got really lucky my first year in Belleville in junior hockey league. I think like language-wise it was a little tricky for me. The first like 3-4 months I didn't really say much. I just watched the guys communicate in the locker room, watch their body language. I mean, we learn English in school, but it's not the same thing once you come over here. Like everybody talks so fast and like what's going on? Like what's everybody saying? Like different words, different slangs. Hockey talk in the locker room is a little bit different than outside. So it definitely took some time to get used to it.
Fortunately, a teenaged Grubauer on the other side of the world was grounded with the help of a familiar face.
Uwe Krupp was there, former German national player and coach, and his son was my teammate. So they helped me with the transition a little bit. Bjorn spoke a little bit German too, so I wasn't thrown in the cold water right away.
But Phil has never been afraid of cold water.
Number 31, Philipp Grubauer.
Or the heat of battle.
What a stop! As Grubauer says no.
Being a goalie is probably one of the hardest positions out there. In terms of you have to read the game, you have always guys crossing in front of you. There's screens, there's tips, like there's so much like flow to the game. Not every situation is the same.
Shut down! Big save! Philipp Grubauer!
It's also fun. I don't think a lot of people think getting hit with a puck is too fun, so I think we goalies enjoy it.
Before hoisting the cup with the Washington Capitals in 2018, Grubauer learned the value of weathering the storm.
Well, first of all, you got to make it to the playoffs. Like the couple of years before we won it, we were supposed to win it. We failed 2 years in a row or 3 years in a row against Pittsburgh. That was really good to go through. Otherwise, we wouldn't have won it. Everybody's got to be on top of their game for like whatever it is, like 2 months basically. Everybody's got to be all in at all times, at every change, every situation, and you need to have luck and get the right bounces too.
With the pressure goaltenders face, you are never truly out of the woods. But Phil finds balance when he's able to get a breath of fresh air.
It's pretty tough during the season. Not a lot of time to do that, but yeah, at the barn with my dog, just going on hikes, go fly fishing once in a while, stand in the river, just enjoy the remoteness, the nature. I think that always is pretty good for my head.
His adventures extend across land and sea.
Like it changes every time. Like I love my horses, right? I love to ride. I love to like wake surf. I love to fish. I love to hike. There's just so many things. I try to do so many things and I enjoy it all. Just love everything about it.
And one day, he hopes, the sky.
Once I'm done playing hockey, one thing on my bucket list is to get a pilot license. Always been interested, but it really like started off in Alaska. You can only fly in and out with a float plane, and it's just so simple. Watching them like fly, I was sitting right up front. Just a different feeling like flying.
From an award-winning Stein he helped design with the Kraken to his time at Safe Haven, he's brought a bit of his homeland to the Pacific Northwest through his horses, his family values, and connecting with the Kraken community that he cares for deeply.
To give back to our fans and give back to the community with the horses, I partnered up with Salvation Army. We did a lot for kids. We did kids camps just to mentor them, show them about hockey, show them how to be a good teammate, how to be respectful. It's just part of who I am. I think it's always important to remember where you grew up. The dedication, the hard work. When we do something, we do it right and not 50%, we do it 100%.
Up ahead on Kraken-home-ice, head coach Lane Lambert shares how he develops relationships with players and how the game has evolved since his playing days. And in this week's Shootout, we give the players a choice: 5 minutes in the penalty box or a 5-minute ride on the Zamboni. Can you guess who answered penalty box? Lane Lambert has had a successful start as head coach of the Kraken. He says the game has changed quite a bit from his playing days, but his playing experience has helped influence his coaching style.
win number 1 for Lane Lambert. And the Kraken, for the first time in their young history, win an opener on their home ice.
It starts individually building relationships. Really, it's important to know each player. It's important to know what's going on in their lives off ice. Players having children. There's all different kinds of things that come into play, and there's all different kind of things that affect a player when he comes to the rink. The mantra is to, when you get to the rink, you get to the rink and you focus on that, and yes, you do. But if there's certain things going on at home that need to be helped out with, we need to know about that. And so just developing those kind of relationships with players.
We built as the game went on. Well done, Joey. Some great saves when we needed them.
As a player, you yourself were a pretty high draft pick. You worked your way through many of the same steps that players do today, and I've heard you described as a player's coach. How much do you lean into that wisdom and that empathy when it comes to connecting with players, and especially young players that are still kind of finding their place in professional hockey?
Yeah, I look back actually on my first few years, and you look back and you kind of say, gee, now that you have this experience and you know this knowledge of being older, you say, gee, I wish I had that guidance, or gee, I wish some older guy would have helped me with this situation. And so knowing that gives you an advantage to help the younger players and encourage the older guys to help the younger players in certain situations. So, experience is valuable.
In what ways have you seen this game evolve since you were a player?
It's way better. It's just a faster hockey game. The athletes are incredible. It's great things that, they do things nowadays that, the foundation of the game is always remaining the same. If you're going to check somebody, your first line of defense is to have your stick on the ice and try and get the puck. That doesn't change. You can watch clips from 1955. But certainly, the speed of the game, the execution, I guess, at high speeds, just that kind of situation has really changed. It gets faster every year. I think it gets probably, anywhere from 1% to 3% faster every year.
Once you were done playing, how long was it until you decided that you wanted to pursue coaching?
Yeah, I started probably about, as my last 3 years, I was playing in Houston, and I knew that I wanted to get into coaching. So as soon as I retired, I loaded up a U-Haul and drove up to Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan to start in the Western Hockey League as an assistant coach. So, it's about paying your dues and starting from the ground up, and I knew I wanted to do that. So it certainly wasn't a money-making venture. I mean, I love the game, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to do it, my entire life.
First win. Oh, yeah.
Whether they think it's warranted or not, hockey players spend a fair amount of time in the dreaded penalty box. In this week's Shootout, we asked the Kraken what they'd rather do for 5 minutes. Sit in the penalty box or ride a Zamboni?
Zamboni ride. For the Zamboni ride.
I've never been on a Zamboni, so I would try that out.
Zamboni ride. Zamboni ride.
Sit in the penalty box.
Zamboni ride.
Zamboni ride.
Zamboni ride.
Zamboni ride for sure.
Zamboni ride. Ride the Zamboni. Way more fun.
Penalty box, I think.
Oh, the Zamboni ride. I don't think I've ever been on a Zamboni, so that would be awesome. Oh, the Zamboni ride.
The Zamboni ride.
Which would I rather do for 5 minutes? Zamboni ride, for sure.
If I get to drive the Zam, I'm driving for sure.
Next on Kraken-home-ice, how a man who turned his battle with cancer into a way to bring joy to other people's lives got a fun surprise of his own. And Jaden Schwartz shares how he lives out his sister's legacy and the meaning behind his jersey number.
November is Hockey Fights Cancer Month in the NHL. It's a time to raise money for cancer research, to educate, and to empower fans to learn more about cancer risk factors. Last Saturday was the Kraken's Hockey Fights Cancer Night. Virginia Mason Franciscan Health was at the arena providing free prostate cancer screenings. The night was dedicated to those who are fighting cancer, have beaten cancer, and for anyone impacted.
Jaden Schwartz wears the number 17, a number chosen to honor his sister Mandy, who passed away in 2011 after a battle with leukemia. We talked to Jaden about keeping his sister's legacy alive. Hockey Fights Cancer is a campaign that's near and dear to Jaden Schwartz. Every time he laces him up, Jaden's not just doing it for his team or for himself. He's doing it for his sister, Mandy.
She's obviously still, with me, and it's difficult still. You kind of hold that inside every day, but trying to represent her as much as I can.
Mandy, like Jaden and their brother Rylan, also played hockey. She played at Athol Murray College of Notre Dame and at Yale. During her junior season at Yale, Mandy was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. After 3 years of fighting, she passed away at the age of 23 on April 3rd, 2011. Less than a year later, Jaden made his NHL debut with the St. Louis Blues.
She had such a big influence on me.
Jaden originally wore the number 9 at the start of his career, but changed to 17 when he got the chance. 17 was Mandy's number.
Obviously it was an honor for me and meant a lot to my family and friends. She was the best sister that, I could ask for.
The Schwartz family started the Mandy Schwartz Foundation to raise awareness for bone marrow drives and have successfully helped match donors. It means a lot to Jaden and the entire Schwartz family that Mandy's impact lives on today.
She was such a special person. There's been a lot of matches for people who needed transplants, and that ended up saving their lives. So that obviously there's a number of people, have been impacted by her. And then, but I know I never met her, just knew how special she was, and so caring and loving towards everyone. So she's still, she's still thought about and remembered every day.
Cancer impacts many people in our community, and one man is doing what he can to bring smiles to his experience. Ray George was diagnosed with advanced pancreatic cancer in early January. He makes regular visits to the Floyd and Dolores Jones Cancer Institute for treatments. Early on, Ray decided he wanted to create smiles and lift spirits of other pancreatic cancer patients, as well as the nurse and support staff. His muse? Sasquatch figurines. Ray secretly planted figurines in various spots at the cancer center. He would write sayings on the bottom, such as, "You matter," or "Sasquatch cancer." Ray became known for bringing everyone smiles through his Sasquatch figurines. So Virginia Mason Franciscan Health and the Kraken teamed up to surprise Ray during one of his regular chemotherapy appointments.
Oh yeah, been really cool that. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it. Oh, this is too good. This is too good. I gotta get a picture of this. Squashing cancer.
Oh my God, wow.
Look at this, I got a big Sasquatch. Who would have guessed? I can't believe it.
Creativity starts to grow at a young age. And for a local high schooler, he's turned his love for the Kraken into more than a passion project. Up next, we'll introduce you to the voice known as Kraken Max. Max Pelter is a sophomore at Mercer Island High School. He produces a weekly Kraken segment for the school's radio station. Brianna Vasquez talked to Max about getting his start on the airwaves.
The Kraken had a busy week this week, so let's just dive straight into it.
It all started with an idea.
I just sent an email, and it's taken me far.
During the Kraken's second and most successful season so far, Max Pelter got the idea to start a weekly segment about his favorite hockey team.
I feel like I've always been like a super massive sports fan, and my interest just kind of skyrocketed after the Kraken came.
Even though Max is only a sophomore, he's been at this since before he was a student here. In the 7th grade, Max reached out to the broadcast teachers here at Mercer Island, wanting to do his own Kraken segment. Now, 4 years later, he's Kraken Max.
welcome back to Kraken Max. And I said, yeah, can I just get like a short little segment just to talk about the Kraken so maybe people on Mercer Island or maybe even beyond are just a little bit more informed about the Kraken. It was a high-scoring affair as the Kraken came back from a 2-0 deficit.
And it's pretty unusual for us to have a middle schooler get in touch with us, but we're always open to anybody who wants to join, and so we put our heads together and decided to put together the segment that he does, and it just took off from there.
Max was quickly taken under the wing of the Mercer Island broadcast teachers and students.
At the start, like being in 7th grade, like I didn't know much about it. Like when I kind of stepped in and to do my first time, I was like, wow, like this is kind of like a little intimidating with all like the buttons and like how stuff works.
We taught him how to use our equipment and gave him some tips on, better broadcast skills along the way, but he's just kind of taken it on himself and it has really blossomed.
But yeah, I think the Kraken are the most stable.
Kraken Max segments are about 2 to 4 minutes long and give the listener the current need to know about the team.
Just kind of like a quick summary recap of the past week of where the Kraken have been playing. They've won, the goal scorers, how they've been playing, but just enough to keep everybody listening informed. So it's either Philipp Grubauer or Joey DeCord, recently returning from injury himself. So I feel like it's a good middle ground for maybe the casual fan to listen to and kind of be just that little bit more informed about their team.
From 7th grade to sophomore year, there's been a lot of growth for the young broadcaster.
Big strides, especially that was the only thing I was doing in 7th grade was this, and now I'm in the class, I'm doing all these assignments and I'm sports broadcasting, and it's definitely helped me hone my skills more while I'm here.
Max has big goals moving forward.
I want to work in sports, but probably more specifically something in sports media, maybe like a sports journalist or a sports broadcaster. I just, if I have a career in sports, I think that'll be a pretty successful job done. The Kraken got a nice dub, courtesy of Shane Wright.
Before they come home, the Kraken wrap up their current road trip against the New York Islanders. And we've been seeing a Kraken team where every line is contributing, and the younger talent is starting to step up. And that'll do it for this episode of Kraken Home Ice. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.